Hello and welcome to the Hospital Rooms Digital Art School. You are about to watch a fashion illustration workshop with London-based illustrator Sue Dray. Don't forget to check out the rest of the workshops on our channel, and you can also like and subscribe as well. Enjoy!
Hi there, I'm Sue Dray. I'm a fashion illustrator stroke artist, and I'm also a guest lecturer at predominantly London College of Fashion. So I've been in the business for over 40 years, and my styles changed radically over that period. But what we're going to do today is we're going to, I really think it's kind of important to know some fundamentals about drawing the figure, so to just kind of help you get the figure in proportion. Because quite often we have a piece of paper and we draw the figure and it's like taking up this much space. So we want to try and get our figure onto the whole piece of paper so that we're going to get it all in proportion to itself. So I've done this little sort of template for you here, which is this sort of very beautiful lady, and she's very curvaceous, which is what we want to really kind of emphasize in our drawings, and it's really kind of bringing out characters as well in our drawing. But my kind of rule of thumb is, and it's something you should kind of know, but you don't have to be completely guided by, so don't get freaked out about this. It's just something that you can keep in your brain and store away. But the head, this head is exactly the same size, so I've measured the head out for you so you realize you can see it against the body. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5 heads to this particular body. All bodies are different. They go between about 7.5 to 9 heads, depending. You might want to stylize your drawings later and make the head really tiny and the body long and thin, but right now we're just going to go with proportion, okay? And then you can push the boundaries later. Artist license, we call it. The other thing I want you to pay attention to is this central balance line which goes down the body. Now it always starts from the crook of the neck, which is here. So whenever you do your balance line, depending where that particular point is in your pose, the model might be doing something completely strange, but the balance line comes in the crook of the neck and goes straight down the body, okay? And the shoulder points are always very important. Where is that shoulder slightly higher than that? You can see I've done that line there. The breast line kind of almost is evening out on this one, and then the waistline is going in the absolute opposite direction to the shoulders, and the hips are following the waist. The other important one to remember, of course, are the feet here, so that a lot of people think, well, both the legs are the same size, we'll make the feet finish at the same place. Well, they don't. So it's all about looking, and it's really important because artists are really good at looking, and it's really training us to see and interpret. There's a lot of maths that goes along in drawing, and I think all artists think they're rubbish at maths, but in fact we're really mathematicians, because we've got to get this, I'm going to scale it up or scale it down, and that requires quite a lot of thought. So anyway, what we're going to do now is going to go on to the drawing. So we'll put this aside there. I don't know if you could see that, but we'll put that there. So we're going to refer to that now. Now what I'm going to do first, because I love doing this, obviously you might not do this on a finished drawing, but just for the exercise, I'm going to put this balance line right down the middle, okay? Nice big line, because what we're doing now is we're seeing what goes this side of that line on her and what goes that side of the line, so we can actually see where the body fits either side of that balance line, and then hopefully we'll get it correctly. And the other thing that I'm just going to do now is the head. So we said it was 8.5 heads, so I'm just going to do roughly, my head might be that big, and I'm going to do 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5 heads. So roughly that should, if I'm going to work it out with this, I'm going to have the feet ending here. Fingers crossed, because it doesn't always happen. So, but another little trick I'm going to show you too to get started with, because it's always very daunting leaping into a white piece of paper like this, is I've made up this rather gooey mess here, which is tea bags and coffee. This is going to be my my shadow figure to start with, okay? So we're just going to do a little shadow figure. I'm going to draw this twice. Once with the coffee and tea, and then I'm going to go over it with my pencil. So my head, okay? Looking at the balance line here, her head is to the right of that line. So I'm going to put sort of a shape there, which is going to be her head. And this is all going to be, you know, very kind of, I made that a bit ugly shape, never mind. And then I'm going to just kind of like plot in where I think this figure is going, okay? So, you know, this can be kind of a bit clumsy, don't worry about that. It's just getting a bit of the shape coming in, and keep looking back to our source material, and getting the working out where the figure's coming in relationship to that central line, okay? And this foot is coming just short of to the left of that central line, okay? Looking at the shoulders, I'm not going that way, the waist is coming this way, and so are the hips, all right? And then we just get the other little foot here, which is a sweet little foot, coming this way. So that's kind of like my mushy mess, which I call it. And it's kind of vaguely bearing the resemblance to the figure, all right? So now I'm going to go in with my lines. I quite like sometimes using, I might just blot that a little bit just so that it's not so wet, but anyway, just blot it a bit just for this exercise. I'm going to go in, I'm going to look at it again now. So I almost forget that line. That's just almost like my shadow figure, but I'm just going to go in again now with my line to get the detail of the face. So I'm going to kind of, I know we can't really see that ear, but I'm going to put that ear in. I tell you, when we have you know, neck ache, and we're all crunched up watching the computer or you know, reading a book in bed, and our necks hurting. So that's because all our energy is kept in the sort of spine of our body. I'm going to go in with two colours here, just because I quite like doing it as I'm sort of working through this drawing. But so, you know, when we have a massage, it's always the neck. So I always start at the neck, always start at the jawline and the neck, because that's where all the tension is. So some people like to think, oh, I'll start at the foot. Well, you can't, it's really difficult to get everything into proportion when you're starting at the foot. Now, you see I've done that shoulder going down there, and I know this one's slightly higher, so I'll bring this up over here as we come down here. Just drag my pencil down, really, just trying to just really emphasize all that lovely shape that she's making. Let's just put her. We'll just kind of go in with the hand, just so we got an idea. It's hands disappearing around her buttocks, and then we just love, I mean, I just kind of like love getting off on the shape that the body makes and luxuriating in it. You know, there's no point in being kind of shy about the shapes, and you know, I love kind of like just emphasizing the twist and the change of the body that the body's making, okay? And it's got this little kind of curve of the tummy here, and I'm just going to actually put this leg in here first. Let's get this coming down. I like to have a little, and then coming into the bottom of that foot here, and then this is her other leg is coming out like that. See, I'm not always necessarily keeping within that original splosh that I made, but it's there just to kind of give me a bit more confidence about, you know, drawing onto a white piece of paper, because, you know, it's quite daunting. I think Rudolf Steiner actually had all his children, when they were doing maths, to colour in their paper first before they went in with all their, the sort of mathematics side of what they were doing, and it was just opened up their creativity a bit more. So this is a little bit like that. You know, we're putting down a shape first that's kind of taking us away from the sort of preciousness of a beautiful white piece of paper. I do encourage students to draw on recycled brown paper, and cardboard. And if you manage to see the longer version of this class, that's 45 minutes, and we might have time today as well, but that I will be drawing on, some recycled materials, a bit like I'm using the coffee here. By the way, you can make stains out of turmeric. That's a really good one because it's such a nice orangey stain. Look, I'm just doing the seams of her trousers because that emphasises the shape a little bit more. So going back to the face, let's get a sharper pencil for this. Now her eyes will be going slightly in a direction like that. They're not looking straight on. So just put a little nose in here. I like doing the eyebrows. Always come at the top of the ear. That's why I always draw the ear in, even if I cover it up later. And putting the eye in like that. And I'm going to just use a little red pencil for her lips because I know we haven't got much colour in here, but just put a bit of red in there would be quite nice. Okay, so it's kind of like, and then the hairline, because it's going to start at the top here, and she's got fabulous hair, so I like to have a bit more fun with this, and really you can sort of move your pencils around and just have a bit of fun with your how you squiggle away and get all that lovely kind of hair in, just because it's quite joyous really. And just put that, oops, actually I shouldn't have done that, never mind. And if you wanted to, of course, you can put a bit of colour in there. So there we have it, the figure drawn in proportion to itself with it coming to the bottom of the page and the red line up the middle. So you can see exactly how that kind of marries and up with that. So I hope that's good enough for the exercise today, but it's just one of those things you mustn't be a slave to. You must just use it as part of something you think about, and then you can push the boundaries after that. Just hopefully it'll get the whole figure onto the page and you're not missing the feet and not hanging off at the end. So that's it. Okay. I'm Sue Dray, and thank you so much to Hospital Rooms for allowing me to do this exercise today for you. It's been a real treat, and I'm looking forward to the 45-minute one. But I've also just very quickly here got some other examples of the drawing, doing it on cardboard, because we love with cardboard, using all these recyclable bubble wraps and corrugated card, and just sort of like having a bit of fun with that, so that you're not just always sticking to, traditional materials. You're scraping around outside and finding, this is the back of an old card, but, we love recycled materials. And today I was just down in the skip and I found this gorgeous box, and look in the colour inside. So that would be kind of fun to draw on. So don't chuck away any of your cardboard, save the planet a bit, and be sustainable. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Lots of love. Bye-bye.